Hi, I'm Benjamin Singer. I graduated Northwestern in 2010 and I majored in radio, TV, film, and political science. So I was involved in Hillel from before New Student Week began because I participated in the Freshman Fest New Student Week program, which was a sleepover at Hillel the night before New Student Week. So I actually met people that day and that night who I ended up working with on projects or taking classes with or being in a cappella groups with for the rest of my 4 years at Northwestern. So that was a really great opportunity to start getting involved in the Jewish community. My main goal was to improve sustainability on campus and make stewardship of God's creation a really fun thing for students to be able to do on campus. We made ECO at Hillel a small grassroots group that anyone could get involved in and really have a leadership role in. So for Jewish students and a few non-Jewish students, it was a way that they could feel like they were making a difference in the world, and that was through NU Hillel. The Hillel staff actually really helped us think through what are we going to do, what's it going to be called, and we ended up creating a group that, at least for a time, was one of the major environmental groups on Northwestern's campus, and we would have programs like ECO Shabbat, where 1 week a quarter we would have a Shabbat where the food would be sustainable. We would be using all reusable materials for the dinner, and it really cut down on waste a lot. We ended up saving Northwestern Hillel money by doing that. I remember my senior year we had a barbecue, and it was a kosher, locally grown, organic, vegan barbecue, and we had over 70 people come. We ran out of food. People loved it, and that's when I knew that you can really just follow your values, live your Jewish values, and that's something people are looking for, and it's actually something college students are looking for, and they'll participate, and it can be fun and really make a difference. After graduating, I was responsible for all the communications for a homelessness nonprofit that serves people who are experiencing homelessness throughout Chicago. The types of leadership and organizing and event planning roles that I had at Hillel and through ECO were ones that I was able to use to obtain my job and succeed at my job at a safe haven. And going forward from there, I think every step of the way, the leadership skills that I learned at ECO Hillel and at AE and through the Jewish community at Northwestern are things that have helped me get to where I am now, working for a common cause, for a better world. I think you can directly trace the work I did at ECO Hillel to the work I do now at Common Cause in terms of living out my Jewish values, and Hillel helped me get there. So when we talk about Jewish social justice values, we tend to just say tikkun olam over and over again, and it gets to be a really tired trope. And what I don't think a lot of people realize, especially those who haven't had the benefit maybe of a day school education or some intentional learning opportunity, is that our tradition is filled with really specific commandments about the way that we should live and our responsibilities to other people. So whether it's giving 10% tithing, aser, or it's setting aside part of our property for the poor, pe'ah, or it's not being wasteful of our natural resources, bal tashlit, or it's ensuring that we have a proper justice system so that all of these laws and these values we want to see go into place are able to actually happen because we don't have bribery and we're not favoring the rich over the poor or the poor over the rich, that we have a justice system that works for people, that works for everyone equally, and that justice is blind. These are values that come directly out of the words of our tradition. So, the work that I did at ECO Hillel and the work that I do at Common Cause, I feel are directly rooted in my upbringing and the opportunities I had at Hillel in putting those values from thousands of years ago into play today, when the imperative for justice, I feel, is more needed than ever. Once I moved back to Chicago, I started working to organize social justice Shabbat dinners, where I would invite different people I've met in the community who I felt were all interested in working for a more just world, and we would sort of talk about what we were doing and also just get to know each other. And then I discovered Moishe House Chicago, which more than a lot of other Moishe houses is really dedicated to living out those Jewish social justice values. And so I applied to live in Moishe House and was able to have that opportunity. I think I did it because it was something I had really wanted to do for a while, in terms of being able to create the community that I wanted to participate in. The really important aspect of all of this work, in my opinion, is that it has to be fun. And that was something I was able to do at ECO Hillel, and also able to do at Moishe House. And I think that is an approach that is really working for people my age, and I think that's why the Moishe House model has been so successful, because we're able to create programming for our peers, so we sort of know what our peers want. We know the vibe, we know the style, and it should be fun. I'm not sure who was first. I'm not sure if it was Moishe House or it was Hillel first that was moving towards the model of peer engagement and peer programming, but it's a model that I really see working. When I have friends at other Hillels that are not having as good an experience, I try to find out what sort of model is that Hillel using. And more often than not, it's a very top-down, staff-driven model. That peer engagement and programming model that Northwestern Hillel was, sort of leading the way on when ever since I started at Northwestern, is something that I see working for Northwestern Hillel, but also for Moishe House. And that's why we now have 4 Moishe houses in Chicago. And I think that's just proving that this same model is working.